Alright, so we're gonna play this one as if
You're on a path in the woods.
We have not, as if we don't know that this is the last vessel.
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
We're just gonna silently progress to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed to the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Let's question it.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
Let's say, yeah, it wasn't a joke.
I know. You brought a knife with you and everything. But you don't have to try and kill me. You could always toss that scrap of metal to the ground and give the two of us a chance to talk things out.
She makes a compelling point. What if we didn't kill her? What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
This is a blades only run, so we're gonna tighten our grip.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Oh, interesting. I don't have the option to just charge her. I'm not dropping the blade.
Talking to you.
I don't want to talk. I just want to kill you. I'm gonna slay the princess.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
Dang it.
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured.
Apparently a fractured jaw is one of the more painful bones to break.
Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, she's been Uncle Irohing it in here.
We can still turn this around.
We can't give up. I'm gonna finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either.
I feel like she's in better shape than we are somehow. Though, like, that's always with the perspective that we're always below her.
Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job.
Internal bleeding will get you.
The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
It's always drawn as like a center hit, which that would just be sternum. He'd just be hitting bone right there.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The adversary. I'm excited for this chapter.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I'm excited to see what voice we're gonna get. But I already slew the princess. Sure, she also killed me, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her, and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It doesn't
Stubborn,
matter
I
if he can
figured.
hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning. That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill.
I feel like they did a really good job with the quote-unquote evil route of killing her. But I think we might get more dynamic options when we're not trying to kill her. So we will see what happens. I'm pretty excited. Let's proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Maybe banter. You can definitely lie with banter in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice.
He sounds so tired of our bullshit.
The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear? Crystal. Let's just get on with it already. The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
I love the different set design in this so far.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Let's take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
And then I want to do the mirror.
You walk
and
up
see if
to
we
the
see
wall next
anything
to the
this time.
basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward
Darn.
and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
This is decidedly not a cabin.
But there was a mirror a second ago. And now it's gone, so all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting.
Enter the basement. Oh, the different sound effects are wonderful.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to it.
That'd be awful.
If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
It probably would,
Her fierce
honestly.
voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening. Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
I feel like Voice of the Stubborn should have been named Voice of the Fighter.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight.
I also can't believe she technically won a knife fight without a knife. Like, we're the worst fighter ever.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall.
Yes.
Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Give me a girl with a devil tail any day of the week. And horns.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
I want to talk to her. I want to see if we have things to unpack.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done.
Fair.
Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Fair.
Couldn't have said
Fair.
it better myself.
I'll fight.
All right, fine. I believe you. What?
And I love that the light is always behind her.
What you said earlier in the woods, I believe you. You've already met the princess, and the princess has already met you. That's all the more reason to take this seriously. You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Interesting. That implies that he's a person, or that he's tied to a particular world. You don't know the depths of my apathy. I don't know who I'm talking to in this case. Am I talking to the narrator or to her?
Great. Now focus up and do it then.
Darn it, I wanted that to be talking to her. You look different.
You look exactly the same.
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. Alright, let's fight.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess.
I love that her tiara has become part of her horns. That is so cool.
Here we go. Let's make this count.
Oh, we'll make it count, all right.
As you bridge the gap, your blade slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement floor.
Oh, I love her
You
so
can hear
much.
her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact.
She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
We know fight good.
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you? That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me. It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point?
We can just fight each other forever.
So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
I love her.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win.
I love her beefy thighs. I love her cloven hooves. I want this woman.
She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action.
No, I'm going
Listen
straight
to
to the
them.
heart.
She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
Like, look at her thighs. How can you not agree with me? Look at the muscle. Alright, we're gonna do what she wants.
If that's your plan, then that's your plan. You push off the ground, ignoring the pain in your ribs as you charge at the princess once more. You can feel flesh give way before a sudden impact blunts your momentum, your weapon tightly lodged in the bone of her arm.
Ow.
She grins at you from behind her guard. Pull it out. We'll try a different angle.
No, we can do this. Just keep pushing.
Bitch, our knife is not very long. And it's definitely not going through a bone.
We're not gonna win if our weapon's stuck in her arm.
We're gonna attack from a different angle.
Pull back on the blade's hilt, doing your best to free it from its sinewed prison. But as you tug the blade free, the princess slams you down onto her knee. It collides with your ribs, and you feel them splinter, cracking like wet wood from the impact. And you find yourself in midair, effortlessly tossed across the room. You hit the floor, your ribs complaining painfully, but you can feel the hilt in your grip. You still have your weapon. You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last.
Yeah, in this situation, in tight quarters, if you're strong enough, it's definitely best to just go in with fists.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her.
She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
The princess's arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
The perspective, the art in this is so good. Like, it's a simple style, but the perspective is so skillfully done.
How disappointing.
I'm so sorry, I didn't want to disappoint you.
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull and the sickening churn of what was your grey matter.
Oof, not a good way to die.
Everything goes dark, and you die.